say you found a skeleton. How would you tell it to die? You personally, how would you decide?
Well, interesting question. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that.
Hey everybody, welcome to Dapper Reacts number whatever it is. I am once again here in the suit because you guys have been continuously hitting the super chat targets to make me stay in the suit. So, yeah, basically. So thank you everyone. First I want to say a special thank you to Anonymous Pie, who got me a couple items off my Steam wishlist. So he got me the Blood Angels Champion pack, for Space Marine 2, which I have already outfitted my Assault Marine as a Flesh Terror's Sanguinary Guard. So there you go. Got the Sanguinius Death Mask in black. Pretty fun. And also Orebound, which in case you don't know, because I didn't know until a few days ago, is a fantasy dwarf-themed automation and survival game. So you are dropped in an airship into the middle of the wilderness, and you were established with establishing a dwarf hold and finding the 3 lost runestones of the Great Dwarven Kings or whatever. And I just found the first one this morning. So, yeah. It's a little bit of Satisfactory, a little bit of Minecraft, a little bit of Dwarf Fortress, all just kind of rolled into one. And you have to kill enough boars to eat, otherwise you starve.
I am grateful for all the people that have been getting me things off my wish list. Some of them are practical, but also some of them are for self-care.
Yeah.
Like, I've been improving my skincare routine lately, so if I look really fresh-faced today, that's why.
Nice. Oh, Kipp abandoned us. We're getting, where is Kipp? Kipp is not here. He's in, like, Alberta or something, I think?
He's in some farmland or whatever.
I think it's Alberta.
Cow country.
One of the provinces that I am not super, like, I don't really have Alberta on my bucket list of provinces to visit. I'll just say that. I'm trying to think, like, what... I think there's only one province that I haven't been to that I actually would like to go to, like, actively. It's Ontario, and it's mostly because of people and not because of, like, ooh, Ontario.
In Ontario.
How is it?
Once. I went in middle school as part of, like, the something like Future Problem Solvers, I think was what it's called. And we got to go to Ann Arbor, Michigan for this big, like, international Future Problem Solvers conference. And then we took a day trip across the river to Canada. So
Nice.
or lake, whatever. And yeah, so we spent half a day in Canada, and that was cool. And we were like, okay, it's just like America. Whatever.
Just don't tell the Canadians that.
I mean, back in the... God, this was what, the 90s? Yeah, it was... I didn't appreciate the Canada essence at the time.
All right.
Oh, Jillian's saying that I did Future Problem Solving too. Yeah, so we did.
Nice.
When I met some people from New Zealand, they gave us, like, shirts with kiwis, and I have a little kiwi figurine that I still have to this day.
Nice. Also, I always feel bad for female kiwis when they're gravid, because they're carrying around an egg that's, like, about as large
The
as
size
their
of their
entire
body.
Yeah, this is like,
Yeah.
geez, guys. There's got to be a better way to do
Also,
this.
if you live in a place where kiwis live, the birds, put your dog on a leash, because kiwis don't really have defenses against giant animals like that, so.
Yeah, they don't. Tad is mad for $5 says, Dapper is still trying to sell me a lightly used couch. I'm not JD Vance. Also, I was woken at 5 a.m. by the dog I'm watching headbutting me in the AIG, oof, with a Godzilla. We'll take a drink. And by the way, I am drinking from this wonderful Star Trek Tiki mug that is a Klingon, and I'm drinking a Dark and Stormy. So, here we go.
Drink a coffee.
That's also a pretty good option. Ooh, that's really good, actually. I think I got the ratios just, like, spot on. Because I was eyeballing the ratios. I didn't take out, like, the jigger or anything. Cassie clearly, I don't want to get that wrong, for $5 says, I went to Toronto once because my family wanted to visit the airport Vineyard Church, aka the Future Prom. Yeah. I definitely wouldn't go to Toronto to go to church. I don't think there are any churches in Toronto that I have a particular interest in going to. Not that I would never go to some place to check out a church, because there are definitely some awesome churches out there that I would love to check out. Like I would love to check out any of the churches in Lalibela in Ethiopia. Like that would be really badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a few other churches that I think it would be cool to visit. But yeah, none of them are in Toronto. Sorry, Toronto. Ben Thick Tunicate for £20 says, Silent Night, Holy Night, the infant stares at the sight, fraudsters and liars, all in a fake arc. The infant points to them and says, with great snark, behold a bag full of D's. Behold a bag full of D's, and we'll take a drink. Thank you very much. Yeah.
They wrote that in verse. You didn't sing it.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm not in a... I'll love you with you. It's been a rough couple days. There's been some pain stuff going on, and I am not in a super jolly mood. In fact, Chesh noticed last night, like, you're really grumpy. And I'm like, yeah, I am. I am kind of grumpy. I'm sorry.
I mean, also,
We'll take a drink.
You're not a bard.
No. Roshina for $4.99 says, Kipp is Bring like AIG and Tiffany's boyfriend. Oh, being. That's a typo for being. Got it. Kipp is being like AIG and Tiffany's boyfriend, a decked out deck of Richard Carriers. Also, I want a desk of pepperjack cheese, please. Pepperjack, it's good stuff. We'll take a drink for that. And also, I have to update the actual thing here because I haven't been keeping up.
Yeah, Fearmonger is calling you out. You pronounce the second T in Toronto?
Toronto? I guess I do. Do the Torontonians?
It's Toronto.
Toronto?
Toronto.
I don't know. There's a T in there.
Yeah, this is the same thing. Like, if you were ever to go to Alabama, there is a city. Why would you go to Alabama? And the way that it's spelled will tell you if somebody is from there or not, because if they pronounce it the way that it looks, you ain't from
it's
here.
Like 70% of the towns and cities in Massachusetts.
Oh my god. Yeah, but it's like a Native American name, so it's like it's butchered anyway, but it's Aniana. In case any of you ever go there, it's not Anta, it's Aniana. And if you see a city that looks like Arab, that's not pronounced Arab, it's Arab, and yes, that's very, very stupid.
I'm trying to think, is that worse than Amarillo, Texas?
Oh, well, there's a city called Palmerdale, and then another city that's right next to it where people, I'm using city very loosely, where they couldn't name it Palmer anything because it was already taken, so they just named it Remlap, which is Palmer backwards.
Roshina for $4.99 says, oh, sorry, I already read that one. Metageeky for $5 says, went to Toronto for TCAF, awesome fun con, and attended a library workshop where I got all the books, even the AIG Karma Sutra featuring burlap songs. Okay. And then Ben Thick Duty sends a $5 super chat with no message. Ben, if that was an error and you wanted a message in there, let me know and tag me and I will read it. Otherwise, thank you very much. Honestly,
like Jace said, so it's like the Leicester or Worcestershire.
Yeah. I kind of wish
that reminds me. I have a story.
Oh, okay.
I have two stories, but this is the one that's relevant. When I was at SBL, I was sitting around with like Kipp and Dr. Josh, Dr. Damn Clone. We were just waiting to go to like dinner, and some of the scholars from a different, I guess, seminar, they came over. We're talking. I was listening to one of them speak, and I'm like, I know this dialect. I recognize, like, specifically where this guy's from. And I was like, hey, so-and-so. This is going to be random, but, are you from Leicester? And he was like, yeah, yes? How? That's so fucking oddly specific.
Yeah.
How? And he was very impressed, and I was like, yeah. Do you know how I know that? How I know that dialect?
I assume you know people from there.
Because Dominic Keating's from Leicester.
Ben Thick Tunicate has gifted 5 Dapper Dinosaur memberships, and I took the drinks for them. Thank you very much. Fear Punch a Nazi Monger. Punch a Nazi Monger. There we go. For $5 says, perhaps the funniest is seeing non-Minnesotans pronounce Eli. I guess, yeah, it looks like Eli, but it's Eli. And
Zeta?
Zeta? So here's the problem with you spelling it that way. I don't know what ZE is supposed to mean. Because that's also itself confusing because English. And Matomidai. And it looks like
Matomidai.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is weird. People are weird.
People are weird. All right, so let me make sure that I have this updated.
Ben Thick Tunicate has notified you what his chat is supposed to read.
Oh, I don't see where that is. Did you tag me?
He did. Well, he tagged at Dapper. He didn't say at Dapper.
Oh, see, that's the problem, is that doesn't highlight it for me. Where is it?
It's after Robert Atzett's bunch of drink emojis.
Okay. Say, I Dapper love pelagic tunicates. Oh, well, that is a thing that I guess you paid me to say. Not true, which makes it a weird thing, but, you know, that's fine. There's no requirement that super chats be truthful. You're not under oath when you're giving a super chat.
And yes, Claude Simeon, it's because of Enterprise, as you would expect. I mean, but he has done conventions, so I, met him and hung out at conventions before as well, but it's a very specific, accent. And when he was auditioning for Enterprise, he tried to be, really posh, and they were like, it's not really working. He's kind of supposed to be more working class guy. And so he was like, all right, fine. Can I just use my natural way of speaking? And it worked. So good job.
All right. So when we last left off, Nick and Fad here were being very confused and thought that the point where our lineage developed post-anal tails was also the invention of the first anus ever, which is not even close to true. They were also confused about the fact that there in fact do exist many animals today that do not have an anus. I would hazard to say most currently alive animals don't have an anus. I think that actually might be true. It's certainly a very large portion of the animals alive today that do not have an anus. So they also just don't understand that, many animals don't have an anus anyway. Yeah, that was where we left off, was with them being utterly confused by just basic reading comprehension, mostly. I'd like to say that they're misinformed about evolutionary biology, which obviously they are, but also they just seem to be misinformed about, like, how words work. Heather Kuhn, who's been a member for 20 months and is at the amulet level, says, it's hard to beat mangling Cordaway. Oh, Courtois as Cordaway. Yeah, that's...
Coat away.
Coat away? Ooh. Michael Fox, RDH, there we go, for $5 says, my favorite town is in Newfoundland, and I can't enter into the YouTube chat. AIG is a satchel of dildo Newfoundland. I'll take a drink.
Okay.
I mean, where else should you keep your dildo Newfoundland if not in a satchel? That's where you should keep it, is in a satchel. Let me update that. All right, we are going to dive into this video with Nick and Fad. And no Kipp, because Kipp, again, has abandoned us. Oh, wait, nope. Roshina for $4.99 says, we're in a post-anal society. I feel like some people on the internet didn't get that message. Not that they need to. Do whatever you want. As long as everyone's okay with it. And it's safe.
Because my mind works like Pinky from Pinky in the Brain. Did you get the meme that I sent you? Or not the meme, the screenshot that was talking about the redactions in the Epstein files today?
Yes. Yeah.
For the chat, somebody was saying just like, oh, haha, the redactions, you can just copy paste the text. I bet somebody's just really incompetent, or maybe there's a secret revolutionary in it. And I'm like, no, they're just incompetent. Mm-hmm. And then someone else goes, yeah, I bet they just let their Adobe subscription lapse. And then somebody goes back and takes a news article from June that says they cut a gajillion-dollar contract with Adobe, and I'm like,
Yup.
you can't redact the Epstein files because you let your fucking Adobe subscription expire.
Hey, you know what? I'll just say this. I have been a big fan of cancel Adobe for years now, and the DOJ did it. You know, good on you guys. Adobe as a company needs to die in a fire, but this is pretty hilarious.
Just can't stop laughing at it. Like, fascists, they're so incompetent.
It is the best thing about them. Alright, here we go.
Where their stomach and their mouth just fucking appears out of nowhere.
So, I don't know if he noticed, but stomachs would have appeared and mouths closer to Urbilitarian. So several steps up, because he's looking at Agnatha right now, I believe. So yeah, way earlier. So this is one of those things where, like, again, you guys could look into this, right? Because, like, I don't think anyone... Well, I was going to say I don't think anyone is dumb enough, but I realized I think these two might actually be dumb enough to think that you can summarize the entire consensus about the evolution of humans from Luca to now on a single chart with a small number of animals on it. Well, mostly animals. Like, that's not a thing you can do in a little chart form. So if you're going to like, well, where did this come from? And it's not on the chart, you're going to have to look that up. Because the chart's not going to give you everything, right? Like, I don't think this chart tells you where teeth came from, but they say it still came from somewhere. Go ahead. Sorry.
DJ Sapson in the chat says, I'm pro LibreOffice. Open Office, I guess. What's up with Adobe that I'm missing? So earlier this week, some of the Epstein files were dropped. And, you know, they were redacted to all hell. But as the last time the government did this, you could just select all of the redactions and copy paste them into any notepad or editor, and it would just show you the text. Because they didn't actually redact the files. They probably just used black highlighter. And people were joking like, haha, I bet somebody let the Adobe subscription lapse, because apparently redacting a file isn't just an intrinsic feature. You have to pay Adobe to do it. So earlier this year, Doge was saving our government billions of dollars, and they cut the Adobe subscription. So
also, I strongly suspect that DJ Sapsan was actually asking why people have a problem with Adobe in general.
They charge you to rent their program when you should be able to own it.
Yep. And also, they make it virtually impossible to cancel a subscription that you no longer want. And they have been hiking their prices to the point that it is becoming impractical for basically anyone who doesn't have a corporate seat for Adobe products to use Adobe products effectively. So, like, the days
so many free alternatives.
Yeah, the days of just buying Photoshop and setting up your own, like, this is just my single guy photography business with Photoshop and whatnot. Yeah, that's really hard to do now because Adobe are a bunch of dicks. Now, it's actually really easy to do with a lot of free alternatives, which is why I am a big fan of cancel Adobe and learn some open source options. Because there are a lot of them out there. Every single program that Adobe has, there's an open source version. And yeah, it'll be a little bit of a learning experience, and there might be some things that Adobe's better at. But then again, there are also going to be some things that the free version is better at. So, like, yeah. In fact, actually, speaking of free things, there are some areas now where Blender is like skating ahead of a lot of the industry standard stuff like Maya 3D and stuff like that. So, like, and it's also being used in more and more productions. So hopefully that can either light a fire under the big brands to improve, or even better, maybe it'll be even easier to break into, 3D graphics and stuff, because there won't be the gigantic barrier price. Because it is expensive to get a license for, like, Maya 3D.
I mean, look, major Hollywood productions are using Blender for their special effects, and it looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hashtag watch Man Finds Tape. Everybody go rent it. It's good.
Yeah. A lot of special effects done in Blender that look really good. What is the best option for open source for PDF manipulations? I actually don't know what the best option is because I never bother.
The program that I'm using.
Well,
The one that I've been using is, let me make sure I get this correct. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm
Roshina for $4.99 says, I couldn't cancel my Adobe subscription unless I first paid Adobe $70. Yeah, they have early cancellation fees.
That's such BS.
Yeah. So, look,
Oh,
I'm not a financial planner or a business guy, but I can tell you what I would do if I wanted to cancel my Adobe subscription, which is that I would call my bank and say to no longer process any payments to this vendor.
Mhm.
And then I don't care how if they're like, oh, hey, you missed a payment, or hey, you need to give us a $70 early cancellation fee. It's like, all right, good luck charging it.
Yeah.
You can send me to collections for $70? No, you're not. No, you're not. And I'd also rather pay the collections company than Adobe. So there you go. And because, when a company sells debt to a collection agency, they sell it for significantly less than the debt is actually worth, right? So like they get like $20 out of the collections agency. And then you know what happens if you don't pay the collection agency? It might ding your credit. But like, what else are they going to do? They're not going to sue you for $70.
Yeah, the thing is, as much as I hate PayPal, I will say, if you use it to sign up for subscriptions to things, it is trivially easy to go in and just turn off the payments.
Yep. Say no longer authorized for auto payment.
Yep.
I've done that many times. Yep. There have definitely been subscriptions where I was like, there doesn't seem to be a way for me to cancel this and I don't want to keep paying it. So, hey, PayPal, stop accepting automatic requests for this vendor. Just don't do it. The Real Sharknado Shark for 100 Argentinian peso says, I love that in any other government, highlighting a text instead of redacting it would clearly be a purposeful leak. With Trump, maybe they're just incompetent. Oh, it's not a maybe. They're just incompetent. Yeah.
Like, I know that it tickles people's neurons to think like, oh, there's someone that's very sympathetic to the cause. Like, no, they're just incompetent.
Yeah. Anyone who
never attribute to malice that which can be chalked up to.
Plus, anyone who is that sympathetic has probably already been purged, because there have been ongoing purges of anyone who is even the most shreddest little bit of integrity and disloyalty to the regime. Not even disloyalty, just lack of putting loyalty to the regime ahead of any other ethical or legal considerations. So, it's almost like that's why we had a norm about not just firing career public servants every time a new regime takes over.
But all the corrupt guys and the business folks, we can keep them. Yeah. Like the Postmaster General. Of
course, the problem with norms are that they are only enforced as long as people follow them. The minute anyone breaks a norm, well, that norm is just gone now. So
that's the thing. It's like, I get really frustrated at my liberal friends who are just like, oh my God, that's against the law. I'm like, yeah. And okay, it's also against the law to speed. Lots of people do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's illegal. Yeah, they know.
They're aware. This isn't news. Yep. It's also not at all the first administration to do lots of law breaking. Like, lots of law breaking. It's just this time they're not even pretending that it's not going on.
They don't hide it. Yeah.
It's just like, it's just out in the open. Yeah. Like, there are so many laws that, like, say, Bush 2 broke. I remember them. A lot of laws.
Guys just get up in front of Congress and just lie their asses off.
Hey, remember that time?
Yeah, there's absolutely weapons. We found them. We do. We have complete, evidence. We know we're going to go in and get those weapons, and oh no, we didn't find them. Oh no.
Remember that time Obama murdered a U.S. citizen teenager because his dad preached sermons that Obama didn't like?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a thing. Yep.
Remember when he was like, hey, I should give ICE more money?
Yeah.
And he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, remember when he was the one whose administration actually invented family separation at borders, and the subsequent regime just accelerated that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yep. Every once in a while, I have someone who's like, there were no Obama scandals, and I'm like, my friend, you have just not been paying attention. Yeah.
Hi, welcome back from your 15-year coma. There's some things we need to talk about.
Yeah. Cat is mad for $5 says laws only exist if they're enforced. Gonna pee outside just because I can.
Yep. True.
I mean, I can't say that as a dinosaur I have never peed outside because that's where dinosaurs pee most of the time. Although technically, dinosaurs don't so much pee as, exude uric acid as a white paste. Whatever, it's fine. Don't worry about it. What do you think that white thing is when a bird poops there, Vishanti? That's their version of urine. That's what that is. Vishanti's learning all sorts of things today.
I wish I could go back to 2 minutes ago when I didn't know that.
Uh-oh. Not everything poops and pees like mammals.
Googling, how do you unhear something?
Get some ear bleach.
And their jaws, you know?
Yeah, I don't
right,
know,
and it
bro.
says-
That's what I'm
It
saying.
says it's only illegal if you either A, get caught, or B, get prosecuted. And then right below that, the real Sharknado shark says Kipp, who's not here, ¿Qué será de ti? ¿Por dónde andarás? ¿A qué distancia te encuentras de mi soledad? Desde que no estás aquí. He's visiting family, which apparently is more
loser.
important than responding to morons talk about buttholes.
We should be the family.
To me, you need a
Nuestra
lot more
familia.
faith to believe in this than you do any kind of God, because this is just ridiculous.
I want to point out that none of this is believed on faith. All of this is based on the most likely conclusion, based on evidence that is available to us in the fossil record and in the genetics and in morphology. That's what's going on here. Now, you might think it's wrong, but none of it is based on faith. And also, if you're a part of a group who thinks that faith is super important, which these two are, I don't know, maybe don't bag on the idea of believing something on faith because that's a dumb thing to do, because you know what that makes your actual ideas into? Dumb things to believe, by your own admission. I don't know, just a strategy kind of a thing there.
The chat was saying, don't give me the time stone.
Uh-oh.
Too late.
Uh-oh.
I don't know, you probably didn't see it, but I literally just walked over to my own Eye of Agamotto, which is right here below Dr. Doom's flag.
Nice.
And I took it out of the Eye of Agamotto. I got this thing my friend bought me at Disneyland, where if you turn the aperture and the battery's turned on, this lights up and it plays like spooky sounds.
Ooh, nice.
So, this is how I go back to 5 minutes ago.
And unlearn how dinosaurs pee?
And unlearn the phrasing of how you...
Oh. If it helps,
Yeah.
that's basically just broadly reptiles in general. Lizards, crocodilians, turtles, also basic same biochemistry for breaking down uric acid and whatnot.
Remember, to them, it all started here with this self-replicating RNA molecule that just came into existence from nowhere.
Nope. Again, assembled out of fairly well understood chemical processes that we're not sure exactly which ones were the option, but the problem is that we're spoiled for choice, not lacking in possibilities. So, yeah.
The cool thing about this is all of the little tchotchkes they sell, like they sell the power orb, they sell the tesseract, and all of the infinity stones are interchangeable. So
Nice.
if you buy them, there's like a whole set. You could get just the stones by themselves. So I could switch this out with any of the infinity stones. It's pretty awesome.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we started this amazing evolutionary.
Anyway, and then
journey.
we become a fish.
And then, oh yeah,
It's just anyway.
Yeah, just interrupt. Also, where the fish thing starts is a little bit iffy, right? Like, I'd say Agnatha probably counts as fish. But, like, I don't know, maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you think placoderms. Although, I don't know why Cephalaspis has, like, a special call-out when all of placoderms is its own separate group. Like, I'm not sure what the deal is there, but, like... Oh, nice. Pretty cool.
this is a big step right here. We go from, well, we were a horseshoe crab.
Nope.
We were horseshoe.
I'm gonna take a drink. Horseshoe crabs are that split happened before Pikaia, before the acorn worms. That split. Just because something has a vaguely shovel-shaped part to its body, that doesn't make it a horseshoe crab. Horseshoe crabs don't have fish tails. They don't have post-anal tails. They don't have fins. They got little legs and chelicerae and pedipalps and all that, like, fun chelicerate stuff. I just... Roshina for $4.99 says, my mom's OCD made her clean my teasers. Now I'm going to engage in some good old-fashioned trichotillomania.
Oh, trichotillomania? Oh my god.
Oh yeah, trichotillomania.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Not fun. Just don't look at poppy seed pods. Don't do it.
Forgot that. So we went from the jaw, teeth, and stomach thing to a horseshoe crab.
Again, no, dude. It says Cephalaspis. You could just look it up. You could
Did you get that confused with trypophobia?
No, I just missed out on the letter.
Okay.
And then once we were a horseshoe.
Oh wait, no, I did. You're right, I did. Trichotillomania. Yeah, no, sorry.
Like I'm sitting here and you can see the little the equations. I was
you're right.
Wait,
you're right.
Seed pods.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of I was. You're right, I was. Well, okay, Roshina, don't go too far overboard. Tie your hands down. Actually, when I had really bad allergies, there was definitely a time where I just I physically attached my arms to my thighs so that I could not rub my eyes. That would just make it worse. But it was very, very hard. And so I was like, if I physically can't without great effort, then maybe I won't. And that, in fact, did work. Yeah. Yeah. It got pretty bad. Where is Waldo for 5 beaver bucks says the creation is strawman of evolution. Everything that isn't us would have to be our ancestor. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
And the thing is, there has been an idea like that, right? The Great Chain of Being had that idea embedded in it. And a lot of creationists like to say that the Great Chain of Being is like an antecessor to the actual theory of evolution, which it's really not in any significant sense, other than just the idea that organisms can change, I guess, in the broad sense. Which I guess, yeah, sure, that's yes. But evolution is not about the Great Chain of Being, right? There's no particular order. There's no idea that the ocean is constantly churning out primitive organisms that are going to ascend through the ladder of the Great Chain of Being, all the way up to the pinnacle of creation, humans, of course. Because the other thing you have to remember,
the dinosaur.
Well, I'm mocking the Great Chain of Being, because another thing you have to realize is that creationists, these guys, they have a lot more in common in terms of their philosophy of biology with the Great Chain of Being from Greek philosophy than they do have anything to do with scientific evolution, right? Because in the Great Chain of Being, as well as in creationism, humans are put up on some great pedestal as the pinnacle of what nature or God or whatever is the creative force behind the world is trying to achieve. That's the end goal, the perfect product. But evolutionary biology is nah, humans are a particularly successful species of ape. They're not the goal of evolution.
Metageeky says, don't touch the eyebrows. We're not back in the 90s. That was the 2000s. That was early 2000s. And I know that because I am still paying the price for that trend. I literally... Christina Aguilera and all the thin eyebrow trend. I'm so mad. My eyebrows still to this day have not grown fully back in from where I overplucked them, and I'm very salty about it. So my family has pretty thick eyebrows, and I didn't like that at the time, and
oh wow. You ever see the people who just completely have their eyebrows removed and then paint them on? That was always one of those things where I'm like, well, that's a choice that you made.
Do you know what a chola is?
Yeah.
Cholas will take off their eyebrows and just draw it on with a Sharpie.
Yeah.
Famously. So
it's not a choice I would make. Let's just say that. The real Sharknado Shark for 100 Argentinian pesos says, don't be a horseshoe crab, like and share instead. Indeed. And Metageeky Platypus Librarian, who's been a member for 14 months, is at the tetrapod level, says, the true end goal is the platypus, best evolution. Yeah, that's what evolution really is going towards. All right, here we go.
Crab, we evolved.
So no evolution with the horseshoe crab.
No,
all this crab.
I don't know what it means, no evolution with the horseshoe crab. What does that mean? Because there's no horseshoe crab on here, but even if there were, what would that mean? No evolution with the horseshoe crab. Does that mean that you don't think that any evolution occurs to go from Cephalaspis or Cephalaspis, depending on which way you want to pronounce it, to the coelacanth?
I don't think.
Because also, I
don't
don't
think.
like that the coelacanth is on there at all, because it shouldn't be, but like, whatever. You're right, they don't think. But I want to know... I'm getting a stress headache, you can tell. I kind of forgot I was on camera, and I was giving away just how much this is starting to hurt me. Okay. I want to understand what it is that they think they're trying to express by saying no evolution with the horseshoe crab. Because clearly, Thad thinks that means something. But it doesn't seem to.
Metageeky, live in cold water, lay eggs, electrosense, tail for whacking. The good type of bills. I'll drink to that.
Fair enough.
Horseshoe crab gets nothing. No, just a cool look.
I should make the
I think what he's complaining
moisturized in my lane, focus flourishing. I should make that for the platypus, but with
about...
like electrosense.
Laying eggs, eating worms.
Laying eggs. Yep.
I think what he's complaining about is that there isn't one of these little green plus things that tells you why Cephalaspis is on here, like what traits it gained. And I mean, okay. I think that's actually a reasonably fair objection to this particular paint or drawing or whatever it is. That like there should probably be something on Cephalaspis to tell you why it's there. And really the only reason it's there is because like it's a little bit more complex and has a like probably more complex behavior and a bigger brain than previous placoderm fish. About it. And it's probably more closely related to modern fish than most other placoderms. Like, so, okay, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I would put on there for Cephalaspis either. And that's one of the things, like, if I were making this picture or directing an artist what animals to use in a picture like this, I would make different choices. So, I mean, I guess that's fair. Noramda puts for $2 says, it's the Atlas of Creation argument. I don't know what the antecedent is. But thank you. And I feel like I forgot about something I said earlier.
Probably the pinnacle of creation. They're talking
about okay.
Yeah,
there you go. I forget what I say sometimes. I'm 150 million years old, guys. Sometimes our memory doesn't work. Sometimes that's a good thing. Roshina for $4.99 says, do lizards with true placentas have the same ERVs as this at the same locus that allows placentas in placental mammals? No, they do not. Joshua Geese for $5 says, for the pretending the headache, Mothra. We'll take a drink for the Mothra. Thank you very much. All right. Let me make sure I have this updated. All right. Oh, hey, we're actually not too far off from pace for the fancy avatar. We could get it done.
Oh, yeah, just a cooler look. Okay.
Yeah, and then from that, we became literally a fish.
I would argue that the previous two and possibly the previous three were fish. So, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. But also, again, coelacanths shouldn't be on there. Coelacanths are not ancestral to tetrapodomorphs. They diverged probably like 10-ish million years before the line going to tetrapodomorphs, which would include things like Eusthenopteron. So we're talking an entirely different branch of lobefin fish. Which itself would split into like Rhipidistia on one side, which is the lungfish in South America and Africa, and the actual tetrapodomorphs on the other side, which includes like dinosaurs and humans and snakes and frogs. So this is actually one of the areas where I really, really wish they had chosen a different animal, like Eusthenopteron, because what you want to look for is stegocephalian lobefin fish, but instead we're getting a coelacanth. And one that looks like a modern coelacanth, which is also not great because modern coelacanths don't actually look like any of the fossil coelacanths, which again, non-ancestral to tetrapods. So I really don't like where this is. And also saying that lungs and ribs evolved in coelacanths is just wrong. That would have been like the common ancestor of like all modern fish, including sharks. Actually, no, lungs would have come after sharks. So that would have been like the common ancestor of like bony fish, which is way, way more basal than coelacanths. And also ribs would have been even earlier. So yeah, like I wish that Cephalaspis and coelacanth had been like replaced with like our first, like the common ancestor of all extant fish, and then like maybe the common ancestor of bony fish, or like Euthanopteron or something. Whatever. I guess it doesn't matter that much.
The right-handed Sith notes, "Hey Dapper, Vishanti's even older than you. The Vishanti as a whole predate life on Earth, don't they? Agamotto was the youngest of them, if I remember correctly." You do remember correctly.
All right.
Ashtur basically helped form the Vishanti by assembling Agamotto, who was the first Sorcerer Supreme of the Earth, along with Hoggoth. So, yeah. I'm ancient. Like I said, I'm 3 gods in a trench coat. So, but good skincare routine.
That's an important aspect of being an eternal deity. Good
That's right.
skincare. The real Sharknado Shark for 100 Argentinian pesos says, "You don't get it. Coelacanths prove evolution doesn't happen. They're exactly the same as they were 65 million years ago, before they evolved into humans, according to your religion." Thanks. I hate it.
So, Heather Kuhn is noting the Atlas of Creation, the 2-volume set published by Muslim creationist Adnan Akhtar, aka Harun Yahya, infamous for stolen images and fishing files confused with fishing flies, I guess?
Yeah, he
Confused with
used
actual
a fly
insects.
fishing lure as a image of a modern insect that he was saying, look, where's the evolution? And you could see the hook. He also famously showed Psittacosaurus, a ceratopsian dinosaur, and then contrasted it with the skeleton of a modern parrot, I believe, of the genus Psittacus, to say, where's the evolution? And it's like, well, you would have a trouble picking 2 more different dinosaurs than a Psittacosaurus and a modern parrot. So, yeah.
Okay.
Roshina for $9.99 says, Donnie Deals was claiming via special pleading that the ERV that allows placental mammals to exist was a special created unit and not an ERV. So why doesn't the placental skink have it? Yeah, because Donnie Deals is what's the most polite way that I can put this? A fucking grifter shitbag who is also an idiot. That's probably the nicest I can put it. Yeah. There's a reason that we're going to be looking at a Donnie Deals video on New Year's, but we're not going to see Donnie Deals. Yep. We'll see his guest, and we'll hear him, but we're not going to see Donnie himself.
Like, they call it a coelacanth, but
Morons.
Look, I'm going to give him that one. I'm going to say, you know what? Fine. It's not right, but like...
But it's okay. I'm gonna make it.
Look, I talked about this. I talked about this recently, and it was that, like, look, if you give every vowel and every consonant, like, a good, reasonable try, I'm fine with that. Also...
Oh, no, Jillian Wren. I already dropped 2 F-bombs today, and Dapper didn't hear any of them, so...
Hey, we're only 11 away from being unleashed anyway.
I'm immune to that. I don't need an unleashed gate.
I do. Alright. Also, I'm sorry, I don't know why, but I'm getting really low upload rate to YouTube right now. So you're probably gonna get some buffering or low.
YouTube can't handle the dumb.
Yeah, basically. If you watch this back on like VOD, it should probably be fixed. But for those of you watching live, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Cola can't.
Preliminary ribs and
other bones.
Fish can't breathe. Fish can't breathe, people.
Do you think do you think he knows about the lungfish? Maybe not. Also, if the video quality gets really, really low, please let me know. I'm looking now and it's looking like it's back in the green. So, like, I don't know. I don't know what just happened. I'm going to blame YouTube. YouTube for being dumb. Yeah. Right-handed says, what about Titty Talix? Yeah, that's coming up. I can see that on there. Or as Andrew Snelling would have it, Titillac, which is an interesting pronunciation for Tiktaalik. And the thing is, I thought maybe he just misspoke, but then he just kept saying Titillac over and over and over again. And And
Titillac and coelacanth.
yeah. And look, Andrew Snelling, I'm sorry that ancient tetrapodomorphs are too flat-chested for you. I guess. I don't know. Maybe Andrew Snelling is just spending way too much on like the Rule 34 side of paleo art. I wouldn't actually be that surprised.
Also, like, as Jillian's pointing out, all fish breathe. They just don't all breathe like
With
this
lungs, yeah.
here.
In fact, the swim bladder in modern teleost fish is actually a derived lung. Bony
What does
fish
he think
ancestrally
gills
have
do?
lungs. Yeah, there's that too. So, yeah, actually, there are fish with lungs to this day. And also, most fish that you think of as fish have what is, in fact, the remnants of a lung that they now use for buoyancy. Yep. Specifically to change their buoyancy so they can stay neutrally buoyant.
Apparently, this one does. So, apparently, we just magically grew lungs here. So,
Actually, interestingly, the development of lungs is interesting. They are an offshoot of the digestive system. And your stomach actually can take in small amounts of oxygen and oxygenate your blood very, very lightly with that. But if you have an extra outgrowth of your digestive system that you don't actually need for digestion, that allows it to specialize for gas exchange, which is basically what happened. And while we don't have lots of fossils of this, because it's all soft tissue, so it's going to be hard to preserve, looking at the morphology of extant lungfish, as well as extant teleost fish, and the embryological development of things like lungs in both lungfish and tetrapods, as well as the embryological development of the swim bladder, yeah, we can actually connect all this back and say that, in fact, the lung started as an outgrowth of the digestive system, which is why they're linked to this day. Thank you for letting us choke. Which actually gives you a good explanation as to why choking is a thing that actually makes sense, as opposed to like I guess God just hated people and we made it so they could choke. Which is the option that I guess you're left with if you're going to say that was intelligently designed. It's not all that intelligent. There's no particular reason. Like, imagine if the air intake for your car was also where you had to put gasoline. That would be an incredibly stupid design. No one would want that car. That's the design apparently God went with tetrapods. Or maybe there's actually contingent evolutionary explanations for this where it actually does make sense. Let's see. Metageeky Platypus Librarian for $5 says coelacanth begin with the moxie species. Then, coelacanth. See, I misread it to be correct. That's, yeah, okay.
Titillac, coelacanth,
yeah.
pterodon.
Coelacanth begin with the moxie species, then Coca-Cola canths, save for the Pepsi canth, RC canths, and the popular in the South, and avoid phagocanths. Vicious.
Phagocanth. Did I send you the the loaf of bread that was made with like the ICP design? And it said, "Babe, you've hardly touched your juggaloaf."
Yes. Titillac, coelacanth, pterodon. Creationists get the worst Pokemon. It's true, they do. Jim Daniels for $5 says, shout out and thanks to whoever sent the gift membership a few days ago, probably during the Mikey Smith sideshow. Yeah, it probably was during that. We had, I think, like 25 gifted memberships total during that premiere, which is like a lot for any video. So thank you very much to everyone who helped donate those. And then Sapphire paused this light who's been a member for 43 months and is at the annual level, says, I purposefully evolved out of my Titillac ancestry. Evolution
Jillian Wren says, I'm drinking Shastacanth.
Nice. Evolution debunked / proven depending on your straw man of choice with a Mothra. Thank you very much, Sapphire Light. And congratulations. Oh, man. Goodness.
These are like the new evolutions.
Oh, no.
Shastacanth, Arsicanth.
Have you read the entire post on why it is that Vaporeon is in fact the most sexually compatible with human Pokemon? That's a thing that exists that you could read if you wanted to. I don't suggest it.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Yep.
We went from a horseshoe crab to a fish with lungs.
Hey, I got a fair question. If evolution is truly real, why isn't it openly happening now?
Oh, that's an easy question to answer. It is. It is. It's observed in laboratories in the wild. We see it happen right now. Yep. The problem is you don't know what it would look like to see evolution happening right now, and so when you look around, you don't see it because you don't know what to look for. So yeah, it is real. It happens right now. It's happening currently.
Yeah, good point.
That's not a good point. It wasn't a point. It was a question. It was a question which I'll grant you is actually a pretty good question if you don't know what you're talking about. The kind of question that no one who would go on to do a debunking of a topic should ask, right? Because you should already know the answer to that question.
But here's the thing. They also think that questions are always rhetorical.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, he was doing it as a rhetorical question. But still, there is actually a really easy answer, and it's just not one that they like. The answer is, it is happening right now.
If evolution isn't happening, why do we need a new flu shot every year?
Right. Yep. It's one of the easiest to observe examples. It's easy to observe the evolution of viruses.
But it's still a virus.
They did this after a novel human coronavirus just ravaged the world. And while they're probably COVID deniers, like most COVID deniers aren't deniers of like that there is a virus. They're like, oh, I think it's not that bad and the vaccines are actually the real problem. But there's an actual virus, which is by far the average like COVID denier. That's their position, right? Most of them aren't virus deniers outright, which is where I think these two would sit, which would mean we still saw the evolution of a novel human infecting virus in the year 2019.
One of the things that really got me through the worst parts of that was just checking the daily updates on the Herman Cain Awards subreddit.
Yeah. Oh, Tad is mad. Says you have to tag info hazards. Goddammit. Wait, which info hazard did I let out most recently?
About the Vaporeon.
Oh yeah.
That needs redactions. That's an SCP.
As long as we don't just stick a black box over it, so you can still copy paste it.
Black highlighter.
Yeah.
I bring that up all the time, and again, what they say is their magical god time. If you wait long enough, you'll see it happen.
Kronos?
First, I don't think I need to invoke Kronos, but yeah, if you wait long enough, you will see evolution happen. It's just that long enough is like, a year or two in many cases. You can just watch evolution happen in the course of a year or two. It takes longer for larger species, right? Like, you're not going to notice any significant evolution in, like, the moose population of, like, I don't know, Canada over the next 2 years. But give it 30 years and you might. And if you have some mice or fruit flies or something, or some bacterial colonies or some viruses, hell, 2 or 3 months might be enough. So yeah, it does take time. But it takes time in the same way that watching a tree grows take time, right? Yeah, it's slow, and you're not going to notice if you just glance at a sapling. But, like, if you give it a few months, you can notice, especially if you're paying careful attention, like measuring. Roshina for 499 says, so SARS-CoV-2 proves non-life can evolve too? Well, so it depends on the degree to which you say that viruses aren't alive. They're certainly biological entities regardless of whether they're alive or not. And I don't particularly care about, like, the philosophical discussion of, like, well, does it actually count as a living thing if it lacks these cellular processes, or if it has to use these cellular processes from a host? Like, I don't care. Like, whatever. It's a semantic game that humans want to play, but the world of biology doesn't care about those distinctions. So, like, viruses evolve like living things. So, I don't know. If that means that they're alive, then sure. And if that means that they're not alive, but evolution happens in non-living things too, then I guess that's true. Whatever they are, they're biological entities that use RNA and DNA to carry their genetic, and use things like, ribosomes and genetic genes and all that stuff to get accomplished biological activity. So
that's what they say all the time.
Daniel LOS says in 30 years, moose are gonna be fully aquatic predators.
It might take a little bit more than 30 years, but that would be cool.
Yeah, the chances of an orca getting murked by a moose are low, but they're never zero.
They're definitely not zero. That's a thing that happens.
I've never seen a human turn into a fucking fish.
Well, humans start out as fish, and they stay fish their entire lives. So I don't know what it would mean for a human to turn into a fish, because humans are fish. At least if the word fish means anything in taxonomy, and if by that you just mean water-breathing aquatic vertebrate? Well, then no, they're not going to, because a human over the course of a single lifetime couldn't possibly have that happen. And based on the aquatic mammals we've had, it looks like there's no going back to breathing water for tetrapods. Like, that doesn't seem to be a thing that ever has happened. So no one would expect that. So just saying, oh, this thing that would that evolution would predict wouldn't happen. I've never seen it, therefore evolution is wrong. Yeah, not a good argument. You need to actually look at things that evolution does predict, because you're not doing the Flurf thing, right? Where the Flurf says, well, I don't believe in the globe because according to the globe, X. And X is something the globe says not only doesn't happen, but can't happen. And then says, I don't see X, therefore no globe. Right? Guys, Nick, Thad. If the easiest people I can compare you to are flat earthers, you're doing it wrong. Because, now I don't think he's going to, but Will Duffy, I know that you've seen at least one video on my channel. You might watch a few more. It is things like this that get people to say that young Earth creationism and flat Earth are basically sides of the same coin. Because the people who defend young Earth creationism frequently make the same kinds of arguments as people who defend the flat Earth.
And look, it goes back to a very understandable human impulse to want to be special and unique and valuable. And you can be all of those things in a theological sense, and also recognize that the scientific method has explained how a lot of these things work. And if you can demonstrate that the Earth is demonstrably not flat, using these same methods, you can demonstrate conclusively that descent with modification and common ancestry and all these things are actually how it's happened.
Mm-hmm.
And if your theology can't handle that, you should adjust the theology.
Yeah, get new theology. Tan is Matt for $5 says, I just spent 15 minutes making a perfect thyme and 2 cheese French omelet. Ooh. And I walked back in to which Pokemon we should fuck. Unhappy eating. I didn't say we should. I just said that there is an article about why Vaporeon is the most compatible. I don't even know that I would say I agree with that article, because quite frankly, I don't remember the arguments it made. I just remember that it exists. Vandalier for $1.99 says, Young Earth creationism is, Young Earth creationism, but it's still a virus. I mean, it was always a mind virus, if we're going to take that turn of phrase. Let's see, Joshua Geese for $5 says, a friend of mine was in high school band called Kronos. Oh, that's cool. They played the song Long Time by Boston. Coincidence? I think not. I agree with you. I think that is not a coincidence. I think they made that choice consciously. Arrow Dodger for $4.99 says, I'm sick of those car analogy. If machines evolve, they'd be like Geiger, or they look like Geiger. Yeah, H.R. Geiger works, yeah.
Giger, yeah.
Giger? Oh, is it Giger?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is Giger. By the way, this is one of my favorite things about young Earth creationists and people who just don't make good arguments is whenever they use analogies that do not include living beings, they use inanimate objects. They're like, yeah, but a car has... No. Use something that's alive.
Also, to finish
Don't
Arrow Dodgers...
a computer. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Super chat. Why are these people obsessed with car effing? I don't know. I think, honestly, it's because... Like, I actually think most of them are not realizing what a bad analogy it is. I think what's actually happening is that they don't notice the difference between organisms that can and do reproduce with changes to heritable features, which are obviously, that's what life is, and that is what the very basic fact that allows for evolution to happen as a possibility at all. They don't notice that there's that difference in category that makes the analogy not work. And instead, they're just like, well, look, you can't get new cars through evolution. So I don't see why it would work for animals. And they just don't notice. But what they do notice is that for other people who also don't notice the disanalogy problem, it also works rhetorically. So I think this is one of those things where, like, to use some Dawkins terminology, the meme has been selected for maximum rhetorical utility, and truth or accuracy or reasonableness is just not a selection pressure for memes in the community of young Earth creationists. The Real Shark Down a Shark for 200 Argentinian pesos says, my ancestors weren't fish, they were hard-working, patriotic Salakians. Salakian? I don't know what that word is. I'm going to hit play.
Guys, I just want to say, I know that I don't do much live streams anymore lately, and
Petite
show-
Flower says Will Duffy's already in the process of adjusting his theology. It's cool to see in real time. Is
Well,
there
good
hope?
for him. I thought there was hope.
Don't
from
do
the
that. Don't
beginning.
give me hope.
Look, I am cautiously optimistic, and that's about it.
Like if he legitimately goes, hey, I proved the Earth was round and not flat, and I'm gonna use those same deductive faculties to talk about this, then I will actually legitimately send him like some sort of financial tip or a positive comment or something.
That man does not need your financial help.
That's true. I will give him words of encouragement.
Yeah, maybe donate a few bucks to like a shelter in his name or something instead of giving him a direct tip. Because I don't think.
Yeah, that's true. Because he's independently wealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why apparently he's not being paid to do the pastor thing. Which,
oh, that's right.
yeah. So apparently he's an unpaid pastor at that church. Which, like, hey, that's
The only honest kind of pastor.
I don't know that
His
that's
income
true.
literally doesn't depend on him, like,
I mean, look,
not changing his theology and stuff.
I've known a lot of pastors and priests, and very few of them had anything that would count as significant disposable income. Most of them were just scraping by and were often choosing which bills to pay.
What
But,
I
like-
mean is their opinions can't change because their income is dependent on it.
I guess that's true, yeah.
That thing.
I'm just a little sensitive to people who are like, all the priests and pastors and whatever are in it for the money. It's like, bro, that is
No,
not.
I didn't say that.
Yeah,
Did
I
not
know.
say that.
I'm sorry,
It's people not changing their mind when their income depends on
you're right.
them.
Yeah, I'm just overly sensitive to that because it comes up a lot, and like I've known a lot of people who are in that position. And it's like that is not why they get into this. There are a lot of easier ways to make money than being a pastor or a priest, and so I apologize because I don't know.
Robert Atsit says yes. Vishanti Willis said he can accept evolution within his Christian beliefs. Oh my
Hey. All right, well,
amazing!
We're gonna take a quick break, get refreshed drinks and everything, and in the meantime, please enjoy the musical stylings of one Bent Hovind, who, by the way, if we can get that counter all the way to I think about 90%, we should be able to get him some free pizza. We can eat again this month. I did make some lamb for Christmas, so we did get to eat that. I just kind of cooked it like a steak, so I trimmed off the fat on the outside, and I rendered that in the pan with a little bit of butter. Put on some salt and pepper and rosemary, some spices, and just seared it in that pan till it got a nice little crust and was nice and rare inside. It was good. It was very good. Anyway, that's enough of that. We're going to go on intermission, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Bye, everybody. And we are back. Welcome back, everybody. From me to you. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm not braining very well lately. It's been a year. Ashley Loves Behind for $4.99 says Santa gave me a coelacanth for Christmas. I'm like 16 minutes behind. AIG's a bag of that really annoying chaos spawn from Space Marine 2. Yeah, those guys. Yeah, the meatballs, which is what I like to call this chaos spawn. They like to just stun lock you and have really weird attack timings and really weird like signals. Like there's a signal for like do a block. So block this heavy attack, and you can get a chance for like a gun strike or a stagger on the enemy or something. And like for pretty much every enemy in the game, that indicator comes up, and you have about like, I don't know, a second or so in which to hit the block button to make it work if you're on like a fencing weapon. For them, no. It goes away before they actually land the hit and you're supposed to block it. You have to base it entirely on the animation and not the signal. The signal is just like, hey, watch for the animation so you know when to block. It's very annoying. And then they like to just sit there blocking, and unless you do the right heavy attack, then they can't hit you. But if they attack during your wind-up for your heavy attack, they're going to hit you and put you into a stagger unless you have lots of stagger like reduction. They're very annoying. Anyway, also, Betty Geeky Platypus Librarian sent 5 Dapper Dinosaur gift memberships, so I'm going to take 5 drinks while Vishanti tells us how she feels about the Cardassians.
Meh. That's it.
All right.
I will tell you about some stuff that I discovered last night doing ancestry work, because I didn't get to tell anybody really. Well, one person. So I got back to about 1704 in Mexico, and I was apparently, I thought, about to attach a marriage record, and I don't attach things without reading them because that's how you do good ancestry work. And as I was reading, I was like, this isn't a marriage record at all. It was some guy saying he wants to get married, but in these days, there wasn't a separation between the civil government and the like religious government, so you had to get permission from the church to marry. And it turns out he was a widower, and his wife had just passed within the last year, and he wanted to marry someone else, which normally wouldn't be a problem, but it turns out that was his now dead wife's like second cousin. And they were like, this is not good. This is like a little bit too close, because they all shared like great grandparents or something. So they were already a little bit, kind of consanguinity. But here's the rub. That woman had moved into their home before his wife died. And they were fooling around a little bit. And his wife already had some health conditions. I think she had like dysentery or something she was struggling with. And because she figured out that they were like cavorting, it stressed her out so much. These guys are going to like contribute to my death. And so I'm reading these records, and the clergy is like, hang on, we got to investigate this. And they're like, no shock. They were like, yeah, no, you're absolutely not going to marry this girl. And in fact, we're going to exile you at least however many leagues away from the city for 2 years. And you cannot come near this girl, who's already pregnant, by the way.
Ooh.
And you both have to like stay apart from each other. You're not going to marry her. It was not the consanguinity that we had a problem with. It was the fact that y'all were cavorting around behind this woman's back before she died, and that contributed to the stress that like, caused her to die faster.
Are the Catholic priests the good guys in this story? Is that what's happening?
Yes, for once.
Hey,
and they were like, yeah, so he was in prison, the Archbishop's prison, while they were deciding all of this, writing each other letters back and forth. And they said, yeah, if you break your exile, we're going to send you to the Philippines.
Ooh.
Right? And the young woman had to be put in the home of like, I guess a wealthy benefactor, so that she could, be taken care of and have her kid and all this stuff. And they're like, she cannot leave until she's had the kid, and you need to take care of her, and and this guy's going to pay for all of this. And yeah, the guy was not happy about it. He was like, I am
Oh.
gonna marry this woman, and they went, no, you're not. You're absolutely not gonna do that. And they were like, if you break this exile, we're either gonna send you to the Philippines. Also, you might get excommunicated, and yeah, this is the thing. And I was reading this because I had no idea how this was gonna end. And they're interviewing him in prison. Like, when did you know that they were related? He was like, I swear to God, I did not know that they were second cousins when she moved in and like started helping around the house and da. Like, I just overheard it from, my wife's mom one time, but I didn't know. And they're like, you are so full of it. It was complete freaking telenovela drama.
Nice.
So people don't change all.
Yeah, no, they don't. Also, good job on the Catholic priests for working to investigate like the untimely death of someone as a result of her cheating husband.
Yeah, and it was like she already had a health condition, but the stress and like being upset about seeing your husband basically cheating on you while you're alive with the person who's in your house helping you, that was a contributing factor. And they absolutely wrote that. They were like, yeah, that absolutely contributed to it. So, no, you're not getting married.
Joshua Geese for $5 says, on behalf of right-handed Sith Mothra. Well, thank you. We'll take a drink for Mothra. Cheers for Mothra. Guys, I'm not going to go through the whole commercial thing. There's Patreon, there's channel memberships, there's merch. Go check all those things out. The channel really does need the support of viewers. And if you are someone who can afford to support, check out all those things. We're not going to go into the whole thing. There's a Discord. There's early access. You get cool stuff. Sign up if you want to. All right, here we go.
Was not pre-planned. So that being said, there's probably not a lot of people watching right now. I'll probably get more views as the show uploads and processes. So
you're actually probably getting your most views right now, Nick. This right here. This series is probably going to get more views than your entire channel combined. Yep, so you're welcome. It's just too bad that you didn't have anything compelling to say. Hey, the goal has been achieved. My goodness, you guys really want to see me in the suit. Roshino for $4.99 says, more sexy suits. And Jim Daniels for $5 says, goal achieved. Yep, indeed. And Naramda Puts reminds me, Sheep It, yes, if you want to help get my animations done faster, there's a section in the description called How to Render for Me. Download the client, use the login information, and it will help me get my projects rendered faster. Sometimes you'll actually be able to render frames for me directly. Other times you'll render other people's frames that give me points that increases the priority of my frames. So there you go.
anyone that's watching this show after it uploads,
Oh, hey, that's us. Hey, he's about to give us a message here.
and you want to get a hold of us,
Mhm.
I'll put the links to the Discord in the video description. I would love to set up an evolutionary debate with someone.
Okay. I don't really want to talk to this guy. He seems like a gigantic, gaping asshole.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what. I'll put a poll up. And we'll make it we'll make it a goal for like maybe a super chat goal or something for another day. Like, should I contact this guy and try to set up a debate? So here we go. Yeah, so it's gonna be a yes or no. I'm not even putting turtle because I actually want to know what people think. If it's a yes, then we'll I'll try contacting him and maybe I'll make it a goal or maybe I'll just set it up. Yeah. So it looks like no is taking an early lead, but oh wait, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Part of me is like, this guy is going to be so moronic that he will not be able to debate anything. But another part of me is like, yeah, but I almost never actually get to talk directly to a young Earth creationist anymore. Because, I don't know if you've noticed, but like, we're in one of those eras in the internet where like, the willingness of pseudoscience idiots to debate is at a real low. Whereas a few years ago, it was pretty high with both creationists and flat earthers. Currently, it's like on the downtrend.
Because we got bigger fish to fry.
Well, yeah, but also I think it's because they're tired of getting their asses handed to them.
We can do a dual, and we can do more dual streams together, me and Nick.
Yeah.
Nick, I'm gonna let you know this in case you're watching. I don't recommend that you continue to stream with this guy. This guy is dumber than a sack of rocks. And I mean that very sincerely. You should not do it's like the Donnie Deals and Raw Matt thing. Donnie Deals should cut Raw Matt off. You should just let go of that friendship. It is doing nothing but dragging him down. It does not help anything. And these guys are in that same situation. Nick is not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed, but Fad is a gibbering moron.
So anyone that's watching that believes in evolution, get a hold of me through Discord, and I would love to set up a moderated, cordial evolution debate. It'll be respectful on both sides, moderated well.
No, it won't.
Yeah, tell you what, guys. Put Kent in the chat if you think that it won't be cordial. Put Vishanti in the chat if you think it will. We'll see who wins, Kipp or Vishanti, or Kent or Vishanti. One of the only times when I think that Kent would probably win against Vishanti, so... Actually, I would find it amusing to watch a Vishanti versus Kenthoven debate. I don't think it should ever happen, but it would be amusing.
He wouldn't survive.
No, that's the part that would be amusing. It would just be the carnage.
Because unlike you, I'm not nice.
No, you're not. That's the thing. I'm
not to assholes.
I am like
not
nice
to
to a fault
freaking weirdos.
to creationists, and yet they all run away from me.
So yeah, get a hold of me if you want to do that. What were you saying there, Noah?
But no, like I said, we can dual stream together, and we can dual stream together more. But I don't see the option to do it on here. I guess you have to fuck with your settings or something.
All right, yeah, we can definitely do that in the future for sure.
I think these guys have dropped more F-bombs than either of us have, and they're supposed to be the good Christian boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, and then after we turn into a fish, we turn into this weird lizard-looking thing.
Yeah.
Hendrixes is not a lizard-looking thing. It still has fins. It, however, has a more robust limb girdle. And it has some details of the skull that push it closer towards tetrapods than other stegocephalian fish. And it actually says, what does that say? Protolimbs, as the following species eventually evolve into legs. Yeah, so like I was saying, the more robust limb girdles. Yep. Calling this a lizard-like thing just tells me you just don't know what lizards look like, I guess? Which is weird. I feel like most people have seen lizards. I don't know, Vishanti, you've seen lizards, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I asked you to draw a lizard, would it have, like, arms and legs and toes, or would it have fins?
It would have arms, legs, and toes.
Okay. But
what
if I asked you to draw a mosasaur, which is also a kind of...
It probably wouldn't be anatomically accurate.
But would it have fins or toes?
I don't think... Fins.
Okay. That's the right answer. Good job.
And teeth.
Yes. So many teeth. Including, like, another set of teeth on the roof of the mouth. Double teeth.
Like, cursed like a penguin's mouth.
Except they're actually teeth instead of, like, keratinous protrusions. Philipunk for $5 says, I think before accepting the debate, the challenger should be required to be demonstrably at least somewhat smarter than the average brook trout. You would think, and yet I've debated Kenthoven, who is demonstrably dumber than the average brook trout.
Dr. Dino doesn't even know what a dinosaur is.
That's the part that really got to me. It was like, come on, man. And
you have rightfully used that as your intro to every video.
He's also not even the only creationist who's debated me on that exact topic without knowing what a dinosaur is in the first place. I had that other guy, Nicholas, not this guy. It was a different Nick, who went on and on about like seals and like if I found this seal skeleton, how would I know it's not a dinosaur? I'm like, bro, what? You couldn't tell the difference between a seal and a dinosaur? Why are you in this debate? Like, you shouldn't be here. I don't know.
It looks like a lizardy fish or something with...
Gee, it looks like a lizardy fish? Wow, you mean a transitional fossil? I'm taking a drink.
Good job, guy.
creationists saying, this just looks like a hybrid between these two animals that are supposed to be linked in this evolutionary sequence, so therefore evolution is wrong, has got to be one of my favorite kinds of creationist arguments. It's too transitional to be transitional. Okay, cool. Let's see. The real Sharknado Shark says that's because Chesh isn't here. I am not sure what that is in connection to.
Maybe F-bombs?
She actually has been doing pretty well on those lately. Yep. And also, I'm streaming with her later on today and tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Some legs, and it's called a
Got no legs, but okay, sure.
Panderichus. I don't know how to say it.
Panderichthys, but Panderichthys is Panderichthys. Like, those aren't terrible. Panderichthys. Yeah, I don't know. I'll let it go. It's fine. You've done better this time than you have in the past.
But protolimbs in the following species eventually evolve into legs. Oh, well.
Yeah, that's how evolution is supposed to work. Just saying things that are what evolution says happens and then saying them in a snarky voice isn't an argument, guys. Let's see. For $1.99, Roshna says, Kent Hart Vishanti. Oh, no. No, Vishanti, don't let them get away with that.
I mean, when I met him, he was very cordial and friendly, and at the time I was a young Earth creationist, so we got along fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that was when he was still married to his first wife, Jo, who's a lovely person, and she was teaching, I think, piano lessons, so she had a little drum. I think I've told the story where she had a drum, and she used it to help her students with like rhythm exercises, and I tuned the snare drum for them. So, yeah.
Well, look, Kent Hogan is perfectly capable of being very cordial in person to someone he sees as a potential cult member. Or at least a potential financial supporter of the cult. Because he also needs those.
They got to put that in there, right, guys? Because if they didn't, then people would say, well, where did we get legs from?
Okay, Nick. You ever watch this? I need you to understand that I'm looking forward. And all of these are actual fossil species, right? Like actual animals we know existed and had the anatomy displayed. Panderichthys, Tiktaalik, Acanthostega, Ichthyostega, what is it? Pedipes. I'm not familiar with Westiothiana, but like all of these are genus names. Do you know why they're all genus names? Because those are actual animals. These aren't hypothetical. Do you have anything about the fact that these are all animals that actually existed and that we would have predicted them to exist? And that their anatomy was often looked for to find the ancestral forms of modern tetrapods like humans? Like the entire famous story of Tiktaalik is about going out to find a missing link that was actually a missing link and then finding the link?
Where they anticipated finding it because of evolution and geology?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
these aren't...
confirmed predictions. The baseline requirement of a functional model.
Yeah, these weren't accidents that were just found and we're like, oh, we better make up something with this anatomy. None of that's what's happening here. You could actually look into the anatomy of these animals.
We were fish, and now we have lungs. Oh, now we have legs. So that that answers that.
If evolution, let's just assume evolution is true for a second. Wouldn't that have to happen? Wouldn't that just be how you would expect it to be? It's kind of like someone's looking at like your systematic theology and saying, oh, yeah, and I guess now we have a resurrection, oh, and look, some kind of penal substitutionary atonement, I guess that makes sense. Oh, like you just put in a crucifixion? Do you think that would be a good critique of Christianity, Nick? Do you really think that just saying things that are what the standard explanation is in Christianity, but saying it as if you're mocking, would be a good argument? I'm just curious. Because I don't think that would be a good argument. If that was someone's argument against Christianity, I would tell that person to go home and go find something else to do besides arguing against Christianity. Because you're clearly really bad at it.
Yeah, but we're like a freaking, I don't know, it turns into a lizard fish.
Hey Trex, what's up? Long time.
I love when they say it turns into a lizard fish. Because that's just directly parallel to when creationists say, like, Well, what is this ape man thing? Because when they say that, they're saying that's what a hypothetical transitional form between apes and humans would be. Not realizing that, yeah, that's the thing that we have, is that transition. And they're just doing this. What is this, a lizard fish? Well, first, lizards are fish. But second, yeah, that's exactly what that is. That's what we would expect if lizards evolved from earlier fish.
No, see, buddy. Trex said, this is hilarious. And I agree. This is hilarious.
It's hilarious, just not for the reasons you think.
And the funniest part about this is from the evolutionist science website. This is what the atheist evolution.
I love that. This is from the evolutionist atheist website, the official one. You know, the one all the atheist evolutionists go to for all their atheist evolutionist information.
This is making my eye twitch worse.
Take another drink, yeah.
I've been under a lot of stress over the past 2-3 weeks, and as with a lot of things stress can cause, it has made this little muscle right here under my eyeball start to twitch at random times, and it is driving me bonkers!
Yep. And then I let Vishanti know that I too have had that exact same problem. Because there are in fact no life experiences that we do not share. It's to some degree or another.
You need to phrase it like you did before the call, like anything that you have or will experience. How did you put it?
Oh yeah, anything you have experienced or are experiencing, there's basically a 70% chance that I have experienced it or will soon. Yep.
Telling you, man, it's this shit happens with me and my sister, who again is also a Gemini. So this is one of our things. We have a weird synergy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking weird.
it's that whole noospheric communion. That's what it is.
Air sign supremacy.
Straight Rat, who's been a member for 9 months, says, I still got the rendering help thing. The way you described it, it sounds like you get less priority if we help you. I definitely do not. In fact, I have been the #1 priority project much more often since people have been rendering for me. However, most of the time that you render for me, you're not going to get my frames because most of the time I don't have any projects that are currently rendering, but it still gives me the points, which I need.
Evolutionists actually believe in. If you go Google an evolutionary chart, you'll see.
Okay, hold on. We have to Google an evolutionary chart.
Okay, go
All right.
do it. I'm not doing it.
An evolutionary chart. All right. What comes up when we do that?
Metageekies Twitch has migrated to their angles. I hate that so much. Everyone hates the Twitch.
All right, so the first thing that came up for me when I did that, I'm going to link it here in the chat, and it is a, let's see, it is an evolutionary diagram of hominins, with the root being between chimps and bonobos on one side, so the pannins, and the hominins on the other side. And it has Sahelanthropus chilensis, Aurorantuganensis, Ardipithecus as just a genus, Australopithecus anamensis, Australopithecus garhi, Australopithecus africanus, Paranthropus is just a whole genus off to the side, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalensis, Homo heidelbergensis, and Homo sapien are the listed taxa. So that's what I see. I don't know if that's the same place that has this chart. The place I see that chart that they're looking at is the Visual Capitalist, which is not a web. That's also that logo has appeared up on their screen, which is not something I would describe as the evolutionist atheist website. Is the Visual Capitalist? That's not a website I'm even familiar with. Name for a website that's doing like science education. The Visual Capitalist. Like what's happening now? A very weird name. The Real Sharknado Shark for 100 Argentinian pesos says, an intelligently designed body will give you an impossible to ignore tick when you're tired and stressed so you can't relax. Peak intelligent design right there.
Intelligently designed body.
Yep.
Elbows.
Oof, the worst. Absolute worst. All right, here we go.
A bunch that come up, they're all very similar to this.
My guy. I'm gonna take a drink. You're looking for evolutionary charts. charts that display aspects of the history of evolution. And you find it to be a problem that they all display more or less the same kind of information, you're the one who's looking for that kind of information, my guy. It's like complaining that all the pie charts look the same when you Google it, do a Google search for pie charts. Or like complaining that the Venn diagrams all seem to look the same when you Google search Venn diagrams. What are you talking about? This is a you problem. They all look the same. Yeah, because you're looking for the same kinds of charts. I'm taking a second drink on that one. How dare the internet give me the thing I asked it to? Like when I went on to talk to Mikey Smith. It's like, how dare you explain moon phases to me, Dapper? Well, you asked me to, so...
And then after this, the Tickawakala is...
Well, that's a new one. Tickawakala...
See, that's how I would have expected Andrew Snelling to pronounce it. These guys are a Titalac guy.
Right? And instead, no, they did... oh, that's a new one.
It says thought. Okay, keyword thought to be the first animal to walk on land.
Actually, we now have a good reason to think that that's not the case, but like, whatever. Also, I actually don't know whoever thought that. Which, again, this is not a picture that was made by professionals in evolutionary biology. I'm pretty sure it was made by professional artists.
Okay, so all these things are living in water in the ocean, and then this fish right here grew lungs somehow. So and now,
I'm sorry. Are you going to complain about the idea that if evolution is true, there must be a first tetrapod to walk on land? Is that what's about to happen?
it has lungs, but it still lives in the water.
Yeah, like a lungfish, my guy.
Super rare.
Today it is actually super rare. That's a good point. It wasn't always.
And then it went to this thing, and then the Tikatalia, like Noah was saying.
And yet a new version of Tiktaalik. Tikatialialik. Okay, look. I get that it's like an Inupiaq word or something like that, or no, not Inupiaq. What is it? What's the language of the natives of like Greenland in that area? Because I think it's whatever that language is, and I can't remember the name of it. I used to know it. Someone help me out here. See, I'm not a linguist, guys. I can't remember the name of the language. See, that proves it. Not a linguist. Regios with 20 Dapper Dinosaur gift memberships. My goodness.
Damn.
All right. So yeah, but it's a native word from an American language. So like, yeah, I get that that's going to be hard to pronounce. But also, TIK, tick, TA, ta, or TAA, ta, LIK, lick, Tiktaalik. It's really not that hard.
Talic.
Look, Tiktaalik would be fine too. I don't care. But like, there are not that many syllables in this word, and they're pretty simple. And while I take 20 drinks, Vishanti is going to explain to us why we don't have a Romulan dictionary that's been published, because it's her fault mostly.
It is not my fault. And yes, I will be asking a certain someone when we eventually meet up so I can get the prop that I bought from him. June of 2024. To be fair, this past week was not only his birthday, but it was like Christmas and all these other things. And sometimes this town gets a little crazy. Everybody wants to cram everything in at the end of the year, so you have a bunch of meetings and you don't like having them right before Christmas and the end of the year. So,
which, by the way, merry third day of Christmas, Gregorian calendar, everyone. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, then I hope you have a merry December 27th. Because
also, apparently, I can take magnesium supplements for eyelid twitches, according to Gordon Loves Science, which, you know what that's telling me is to eat a metric truckload of dark chocolate, because chocolate's rich in magnesium.
And also, when is it a bad idea to eat dark chocolate?
Never.
It's the best chocolate.
It is 70% nut, baby. Let's roll.
You know what? I need to get some dark chocolate that I can dissolve into some milk and add some cayenne pepper and sugar to that mix.
Abuelita.
I don't have an abuelita.
You can any freaking
rent
like
one?
Mexican grocery store will sell it.
Okay.
Don't forget the piloncillo.
I don't actually remember where the nearest
Pretty
Mexican
important.
grocery store is. I know where the nearest international grocery store broadly is, but they mostly specialize in like not North American stuff. Like you're not going in there to get like Canadian imports. You're getting like Middle Eastern, East Asian, African, European imports. Like Latin American imports is not their thing. They have some. Like don't get me wrong, but it's not like a Mexican grocery store.
Surely you have like a Northgate or something.
Inuktitut. That's it. Thank you, Fearmonger, the coelacanth. I couldn't remember it. I think they're in the same language family. Like, if I remember correctly, most of those like North American languages are all related.
Yes. Yes.
And also, they tend to be polysynthetic, which is cool. I like polysynthesis. Like, why use many words when one gigantic word will do the trick?
Get German.
Oh, it's worse than German. It's like, do you want an entire sentence that means my younger but not youngest brother was cautiously hunting moose when a shark attacked? All in one word? Because I'll tell you what, there's some languages
Boy,
up
do
in
we have you covered.
Oh yeah.
And it says, fought to be the first animal to walk on
Atomic
land.
Squirrel says, I would like to believe in reincarnation, especially for cats. Last night, I just had one of those moments where I was saying goodnight to my stuffies, my little stuffed animals and things on plushies on my bed. And I have one of my since departed kitty, which some of you know, Boots, and I missed her. And yeah, I had a dream where she visited me, and I would like to think that if animals had souls that you could reunite with, that hers is the one that I would find first. If such a thing existed. I love that kitty. It's my baby girl.
Metageeky Platypus Librarian for $10 says, pushing towards pizza for Bent as I have pizza from last night, but I'm craving spicy chicken and may not continue to eat leftovers. So take my money as I pay in a peasant. Also, AIG is a sackable. We'll take a drink. Thank you very much.
Man, you know how long it's been since I've had like Nashville hot chicken?
I don't.
I could go for some of that.
I could too. Maybe if I get pizza, it'll be a chicken pizza. I have a lot of chicken pizza, actually. Like, people don't normally think of chicken as like a pizza topping. It can do some really great stuff. You know what? Not every pizza topping needs to be pork, everybody. There are other options.
Thank you! Thank you! Like, I get that it's cheap. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other flavor profiles.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I do really like the taste of pork. It's tasty meat. But, like, guys, beef and chicken are things that exist.
Barbecue chicken pizza. Ugh.
Mm. Oh, yeah. Some onions, some chicken, some barbecue sauce instead of tomato sauce. Yeah, maybe drop some hot sauce on top.
With just very, very, very light pineapple. So you have the savory, you have the slightly sweet because of the barbecue sauce, and then you have just a touch of something like the acidic fruit to top it all off.
I think the vinegar from the hot sauce is going to be enough for the acid for me, but look, I'm not going to tell people not to put
I wouldn't use pineapple if I was doing hot sauce.
Okay. Because my ideal
like
has
one or
hot
the
sauce.
others.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go hot sauce, you can go pineapple. Next time we order pizza together. A thing we've never done as far as I can remember.
Right? I mean, being separated by several hundred miles is probably part of it. But...
We've had a few meals together. We got birria
yeah, but
tacos.
that was like birria tacos, and where else did we eat?
I have some birria beef ramen on the way.
Oh!
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Becca Justiniano saying
those of you in the chat that don't know what birria is, it's like, imagine Mexican beef au jus.
Basically, yeah. I actually made some consomme here I get a bunch of dried peppers and tomatoes and whatnot, and I boiled that, and I, blended it and strained it and whatnot, and oh my, it was great. Roshan for $1.99 says chicken tikka masala pizza. Ooh,
Imagine with paneer.
yeah. Actually, there's
Okay, take naan, take garlic naan, paneer, and chicken tikka masala.
Okay, so I don't know the name of the channel, but every once in a while I watch like food shorts, right? And there's this one guy, he's English or something, and he makes a lot of just weird dishes. And one time he was like, you know what? I want Indian food, but I also want pizza. So I'm gonna make naan dough. I'm gonna make naan dough, and I'm gonna make butter chicken. And I'm gonna spread out the naan dough like a pizza dough. I'm gonna put the butter chicken sauce on top of that. I'm gonna shred a little bit of mozzarella on top of that, and then I'm gonna put that in the oven. And I'm gonna take it out, and I'm gonna dip it in more of the sauce from the butter chicken. And I was like,
yes,
God damn, dude. I am not normally a big fan of like what the English are doing over there for their cookery, but you, sir, you are an exception.
Yeah, seriously. Also, hey, remember that thing that I told you I was going to do on site if something happened, and then I did it?
Oh, that is extremely vague, but good job.
Yeah, no. Whoever you are in the chat, you know who you are.
No.
Stop getting in the chats where I'm at. Don't come to my channel. Don't at me. You're a coward. And I could literally body any of the people that you think that you're putting up against me, because why is it that you felt the need to go after me when I was on someone else's channel just helping them produce?
Oh, I think I have an idea.
Does it rhyme with phnexism?
Yes, although I was just going to say woman. Because woman.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Yep.
And if y'all don't know who I'm talking about, don't worry about it.
Also, I am trying to make my next campaign on Top Hats Off my most gender-balanced campaign, and Vishanti has not joined the Discord for that. Which is making it harder. I don't know if you know this, but it's a lot easier to get men to agree to a TTRPG campaign than women.
I like playing tabletop games. I just don't want to play one right now, and I don't have the mental and emotional capacity to do one of those right now.
Shanti doesn't want to cleanse the heretics in the name of the God Emperor.
I just cleansed one in the chat.
It's fair. Vandalia 1998 for $2 says, which herbivore dinosaur do you put on your pizza? I was going to say chicken, but chickens are not herbivores by any stretch.
Yeah, chickens are not strict omnivores.
Yeah. I mean, sauropods generally. I am a dinosaur. I bite the head off of sauropods. That is my shtick. So, sauropods is going to be my answer. All right, here we go.
Yeah, like, are you? Come on,
I really want Indian food now.
Me too.
Okay.
Like, are you sure it's the first animal?
No, we're not sure, because science is always open to new evidence. That's a strength of science. That's a good thing. The idea that you might be wrong and that you should keep that in mind and fix it if you are, that's a good thing. You should strive for that. If science never corrected itself when it was wrong, we would still think that heavy things fall faster than light things and that the Earth is flat. We would still think it's impossible for heavier than air contraptions to fly. We probably would never have invented the internal combustion engine. It would still probably be the case that a chicken sandwich would cost tens of thousands of dollars, like that one guy who made a chicken sandwich from scratch, but for real. Remember where, like, he raised his own chickens? He went to the ocean to gather his own damn salt. He got wheat seeds to grind into his own bread. He tried to make sure he had natural yeast occurring in his dough, and so he started his own, like, sourdough culture, basically. And when all was said and done, what he got out of it was a chicken sandwich that didn't taste very good and cost him like 12 grand. Is that the world you want to live in, where that's how chicken sandwiches work? Because that's the world where science never fixes itself. Goodness. Apparently he actually did a redo of that sandwich with, like, some lessons learned, and it was still extremely expensive, but it tasted better this time.
Okay, I guess that's an improvement.
A lot of it was just like, hey, you know how you brine some pickles? What if you soak the chicken in the pickle brine first to give yourself like a juicier chicken? Oh yeah.
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 That's the taste.
That's also like the Chick-fil-A secret. That's why their chicken tastes good. It's because it's pickle brined chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
So yeah, not a lot of it was like actual improvements to like the techniques of resource gathering. It was just like better utilization of the things that you have already gathered over the course of thousands of dollars worth of work. And also I think this time he went to the Great Salt Lake to get the salt instead of the ocean.
Yeah, that's the better choice. Also,
Saltier.
if people are like, I don't want GMOs in my food, I don't want GMO, and I'm like, well, then go try eating wild corn.
Get some teosinte. See how much.
Good luck.
How many teosinte plants does it take to make one corn tortilla? Find out. It's like 500 or something.
Yeah, have fun with that. Go eat original watermelons. Have fun. Report back.
It's like all seed.
Yep.
So-
You know, none pizza left beef. That's original watermelon. No fruit, all seed.
Or what?
Let's break it down. Let's break it down, dogs. So, according to the all smart evolutionists, we were some kind of an egg.
We're gonna just count up wrong things. So one wrong. Okay.
Some weird worm.
Eggs,
Also wrong.
which famously aren't produced by human bodies.
And a tapeworm. And then
Wrong again. Taking another drink.
class, we morphed into a fish of some kind.
That's fair. Oh wait, why does it like times a million?
She grabbed a fish. And
I don't know what just happened. It's on like ultra speed, and I don't remember having set it to do that. I have no idea what's happening.
there, we also turned into a full-on fish. Looks like salmon.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just go ahead and call it because they're on super fast, but they're also getting things that are slightly more right. But yeah. Also, Betty Geeky says, "Do you like papaya? Then enjoy GMOs." I do broadly like papaya. It's not something I want to eat on its own, but it's a good ingredient in things. I don't want to just like sit down and like just eat a bunch of papaya. But all right, Vish, we're gonna stop a little early because I don't know what's wrong with that, and I don't want to take the time to fix it because by the time we do, we'll be ending anyway. So what do you have coming up?
Okay. Trying to manage my housing situation.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about it.
Hey, go to Vishanti's channel, check out her links. There is a Patreon and Amazon wish list, and if you want to, feel free to help out with that. So let's take a look at what's coming up on for me. So later on today, I think, I don't know when. At some point, I'm going to be over on Debate Hub, which is Chesh's second channel, with Landon, Noel, and Manya, and Chesh, obviously. And we're going to be doing our current events show, Debate Pub. So come hang out with us for that. I'm going to have a few more Dark and Stormies for that. So that's also where, if you want the less varnished, less filtered version of Dapper Dino's takes on current events, head over there. That's where I do that. Pibblepunk for $2 says, out of my all men RPG group, 3 are no longer men. Well, there you go. No, look, for one thing, it has been a very long time since I've had a group that was all men for TTRPGs, and I like the dynamic better when there is a mix of men and women in the group. I think it stays a little bit more fun. It stays a little bit less problematic. So there's that. Also, I don't like it when there's just one woman in there because then she gets a little bit of the, like, I'm the only one here, please help kind of thing going on. So I try to keep it to at least 2, and I would prefer there to be a good balance, like, 3 to 4 one way or the other, or like 2 and 2. But also, yeah, look, role-playing games are all about exploring, like, character, which can include examining yourself. So, yeah. And also, there's actually some actual scientific studies saying that Yeah, TTRPGs can actually be used for real therapeutic purposes in like psychiatric care. So yeah, TTRPGs, good stuff. Let's see. So what is coming up? So that's then tomorrow at, I believe, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. I have another lore video over on Chess's channel. We are going over all 18 of the 20 legions of Space Marine for the lore. So if you want to learn about all the legions from the first legion, Dark Angels, all the way to the 20th Legion, Alpha Legion, come hang out. And if you ask too many questions about the 2nd or 11th Legion, well, you might just have to receive the Emperor's Mercy. If you want to guess what the Emperor's Mercy is?
I don't want to guess.
Swift summary execution.
Oh, well, that's merciful.
Yeah, but it's swift and relatively painless, so you know. That's the Emperor's Mercy. So that's on Sunday. Then on Tuesday, I should be here for the last Tuesday of the year. It's going to be Kent with Bent. It's going to be based, what is it? Kent with Bent something. I think it's Hoven's Awakening, because the Legend of Hoven, Kent's Awakening, based on the Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, where I had to recreate the egg on a mountain with a ring of clouds around it thing, which was actually a fun thing to recreate, but it did take a fair bit of work. So, then on Thursday, I've got the next video with Ron Neller from CMI, and he's going to be lying about more geological formations. This time I think we're going to Australia to look at the Three Sisters, which is that there's actually more than one geological formation called Three Sisters in Australia. This one is a series of 3 rock prominences in, I think, like southeastern Australia, and not the 3 islands that are also called the Three Sisters. There are like off the northern coast of Australia. So that's on Thursday. Then on Saturday, the plan is to be back for more of this, hopefully with Kipp, although maybe he'll abandon us again. You never know. All right, I think that is about looking forward to the next week or so. We are probably not going to get Bent free pizza, although we're very close. So, you know. Anyway, I hope everyone has a wonderful time for the rest of the week. If you're a member or a patron, you can head over to the Discord server. I'm going to be starting up Godzilla Final Wars pretty soon. That is, I'm not going to say it's a good movie. What I will say is it's a fun movie. Yeah, it's also got the most American man to ever appear in any Godzilla movie, and I am including the American Godzilla movies.
Okay.
Yeah, he is like,
Right.
If you pictured what would a foreigner make up as their caricature of an American in like the early 2000s, that's the man who is in this movie. He is absurdly American, to the degree that no American has ever been American ever before. So, yeah. It's also the aliens are back, everybody. And basically every kaiju you've ever heard of from Toho is in this movie. So even Zilla. Even Zilla is in this one. If you don't know who Zilla is, there's a 1998 movie that is not a Godzilla movie, but is in fact a Zilla movie, and it's about the character Zilla.
I agree with Pegajace. Squeak.
Correct. All right, everybody. I hope you, like I said, you have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your week, whatever it is. If you celebrate Christmas, merry 3rd day of Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, then merry whatever day it is right now. Metageeky Platypus Librarian says for $5 pizza in an amount that will not cover the difference. But thank you very much, Metageeky Platypus Librarian.
We did get to the super chat goal.
We did, so I'm going to have to put this back on. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, there's some last-minute attempts here. So we got another 20 memberships coming in from Regios and Joshua Geese, 10 each. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish this drink, then we're going to get out of here, and I'm going to let Bent know that he needs to send me a pizza order, because that is, in fact, Bent gets free pizza.
Yeah.
So there we go. We did it. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to finish this off air because, frankly, I need to set up and also get out of this stupid soup. So I really appreciate it, everybody.
So many memberships. Oh my gosh. Amazing.
I have one of the best audience, if not the best.
How many memberships are we away from a new emoji, by the way?
It varies, because one of the problems is that most gifted memberships expire and aren't renewed. So
I didn't answer my question.
Yeah, but I don't know the answer right now. So remind me, and I'll find out, and I'll let people know in a community tab post. So remind me to check and remind me to post it, and I'll put that information out there. So, all right.
Okay.
The last thing I have to say is that furthermore, ICE must be abolished. Hey, before you leave, I just want to take a second to thank my patrons and channel members, especially those pledging $20 or above. Ben Tovand, Tapioca Weasel, Sphincter of Doom, Regios, Landon Knoll, Ian Chen, Eleron Teller, Phil Rivera, Kelvin Brostick Van Manen, David Hercules, Joshua Geese, Vollus, Dan Sheedy, Pega Jace, The Plastic Mouse, Arrow Dodger, Gordon Love Science, Amber Athelian, Pixie Purple, Agricola Siqua, and John Ackerman. It's because of my channel members and patrons whom you're seeing on screen that this channel can stay afloat. Without you, it would all shut down. If you want to join the team, there's a link to join the channel below this video, and there's a link to join the Patreon in the description. On the Patreon, you can get a 15% discount for pledging annually, and either way, you get early access to virtually all of my scripted videos months before they come out for the general public. Thanks for watching.